Government procurement. Sounds a little dry, right? But think about it. It's how a nation buys literally everything, from paper clips for an office to fighter jets for its defense. It's this massive, incredibly complex process. So, what if you could simplify all of that, make it totally transparent, and put it all online? Well, that's exactly the promise of India's government e-marketplace, or GeM. In this explainer, we're going to break down how it works, specifically from the perspective of a government buyer. So here's our game plan. First, we'll look at the old-school procurement problem that GeM was designed to solve. Then we'll dive into the platform itself. After that, we'll get to know the key players involved, and we'll even walk through a real purchase step by step. And finally, we'll zoom out and look at the bigger picture and what this means for digital governance. All right, let's start with the core challenge. For decades, if you wanted to buy something for the public sector, you were looking at a maze of paperwork, endless approvals, and super complex procedures. It was a huge undertaking for even the simplest of tasks. To make this real, just think about this simple question. Before a platform like GeM existed, even buying an office chair for a government department could kick off this long, drawn-out process with multiple tenders and stacks of paperwork. It's that everyday, grinding complexity that really created the need for a big change. And that need for change? Well, it was answered with a unified digital solution. So let's leave the problem behind and talk about the platform that was built to fix it. So what is GeM exactly? Put simply, it's a single national online portal for all public procurement. You can think of it like a dedicated Amazon or Alibaba, but its only customers are government bodies. From huge central ministries to tiny local offices, everyone uses this one platform to buy goods and services. GeM was launched back in 2016 with a super clear mission, and you can see it right here. The goal was to be cashless, paperless, and contactless. And you can see how all of that feeds into a much bigger vision, creating a system that's open, efficient, and transparent. It ensures fair pricing and, just as importantly, gives way more sellers a fair shot at participating. Now, before you can buy anything, you really need to know who does what. The whole system works because there's a very clear separation of duties. So let's take a look at the key players you'll find in any transaction. So here's the crucial part. Different people handle different steps. You've got the primary user. They're the ones who set the whole organization up on the platform. Then you have the buyer, who, you guessed it, does the actual shopping and places the order. Next is the consignee. That's the person on the ground at the delivery location who receives the goods. And finally, you have the DDO or PAO. Think of them as the finance department. They're the ones who handle the money. This structure builds accountability right into the workflow. Okay, now that we know the players, let's see them in action. We're going to walk through the simplest and probably the most common type of transaction on GeM, what's called a direct purchase. A direct purchase is pretty much exactly what it sounds like. For smaller items, things that cost up to 50,000 Indian rupees, a buyer can purchase directly from any seller who meets the requirements. You don't have to go through a complicated bidding process. It's all about speed and efficiency for everyday needs. It all boils down to 5 pretty straightforward steps, and honestly, this will look familiar to anyone who's ever shopped online. You log in, search for what you need, add it to your cart, handle the payment details, and then verify the order. So let's walk through it together. And it all starts right here. The buyer logs in with their unique user ID. This isn't just a homepage, it's their personal dashboard. It's mission control for all of their procurement activities. Next up, just like on any e-commerce site, you just search for what you need. Let's stick with our example of an office chair. You type revolving chair into the search bar, and boom, the platform pulls up all the relevant listings from sellers across the country. Now, this is a really critical step. Before the system can show you which sellers you can actually buy from, you have to tell it 2 things: where the chairs need to go, that's the consignee's location, and how many you need. This instantly filters the results to show you only the sellers who can deliver to that specific spot. So once you've found the perfect chair and you've added it to your cart, the system does a quick double check. It asks what kind of purchase you're making, and right here you'll confirm that, yep, this is a direct purchase, which keeps the process simple and fast. Now for the administrative part. You need to enter the financial details, like who's approving the purchase. And then you upload a copy of the official sanction order. This is basically the digital version of attaching the signed approval paperwork to an old-school purchase order. And to make absolutely sure the transaction is legitimate and authorized, there's one last verification step. An OTP, a one-time password, is sent to the buyer's registered mobile number and email. Entering this code is like giving your digital signature to seal the deal. And that is it. Success. The order is placed and a digital contract is automatically generated. The entire process, from searching for an item to making the purchase, is all done online, often in just a matter of minutes.
So we just saw how easy it is to buy a single chair. But now, imagine multiplying that process by millions of transactions happening all across the country. That's when the impact becomes absolutely enormous. So let's zoom out and take a look at the bigger picture here.
This whole system is really built on three powerful pillars: efficient, transparent, and inclusive. By moving everything online, the process becomes incredibly efficient, which saves taxpayer money and public officials time. Every single transaction is logged and trackable, making the whole thing transparent and accountable. And maybe most importantly, it becomes inclusive, leveling the playing field so that small businesses from anywhere in the country can sell directly to the government. The success of a platform like GeM really shows the incredible power of digital transformation in governance. And it kind of makes you wonder, right? If you can simplify something as vast and complicated as national procurement, what other complex, paper-based government processes are next in line for their own digital revolution?